what makes fasting effective is not the protocol you follow necessarily. What makes it effective is whether you can sustain it over a long period of time. The benefits of fasting, you're not going to get them on the day that you fast. You're just not, okay? The metabolic changes, the cellular changes, the mental pathway changes, the hormonal changes. Okay, you're not going to get all those benefits the day that you fast. So it's a cumulative effect. That's what a lot of people don't understand about fasting. Yeah. It's a cumulative effect. And so the sustainability of the fasting protocol you are using is very important because you will not realize the benefits if you don't stick with it. And so I'm one of those people, I don't push a certain approach when it comes to, I don't push, oh, daily, oh my, I don't. You have to find which approach fits your life. You have to find which approach fits your current dysfunctions, for lack of a better word, right? So in my case, it was food anxiety, right? In my case, it was food anxiety. It was the anxiety that came from somebody telling me, oh, in a couple hours, you're not going to be able to eat anything. That created a lot of anxiety. And the fact that it was every day. Yeah, the fact that it was every day. Yes. So doing once a week doesn't trigger my anxiety. And so I've been able to stick to my current protocol for over a year now. Yeah. Nadia says, I'm in a predicament because I love to eat. I love to eat too. There's nothing wrong with loving to eat. You just need to love other things too, Nadia. So let me reframe a little bit for you. There's nothing wrong with loving to eat. But in order to have a balanced life, you have to love other things too. You can't let your love of eating overshadow and override everything. So there's nothing wrong with the love in itself. There's something very pleasant about aroma, food aroma, right? The texture, the fact that a lot of times we are eating socially. And so we get to break bread with love. That is so beautiful and so pure, right? So in principle, there's really nothing wrong with that. The issue is the balance. That's the issue, right? It's the fact that maybe you haven't developed other loves. So like right now, at the weight that I am and with the success I've had, I love feeling healthy. I really do. I really do. I love training. The gym is my happy place. So now I have other loves. My love for food isn't the only love or isn't the most important love in my life anymore, even though it's there. I have other loves. I love being able to hike pain-free. I really love that. I love the feeling I get in the hills and in the small mountains when I go hiking. I love reaching the summit and having just a fantastic view. I love that. So I balance my love for food with these other loves. That's really what it is, right? At least that's what I find. Yeah. So I get it. I get what you're saying. But I want to reframe. I don't want to speak. I don't want you to think as though the love you have for meals and food and speaking, I don't want you to feel like there's something inherently bad or like evil in that. Does that make sense? Yeah, there's nothing bad in it. It's usually like a balance thing, right? Okay. Potter's Hand says, what kind of diet are you on? So I'm not on a diet. I have like an approach to eating. So my approach to eating is protein first, protein most. I target about 150 grams of protein every day, sometimes more, sometimes less. Like the other day, I got over 200 grams because I ate a lot of chicken. But typically it's 150 grams. So that's the only rule that I have. I don't have rules around like calories or carbs. Now I decenter carbs. So I don't make carbs like the main part of my meals anymore, right? I don't, I don't make carbs the main part of my meals. But that's about it. Protein first, protein most. Protein is centered, carbs are decentered. I don't really do anything with fat because fat and protein in nature tend to go together, right? So if I'm going to get protein from nature, I'm probably going to get fat as well. Yeah. So I don't restrict fat. I don't try to limit fat because fat comes with protein. So once I focus on the protein goal, everything else just falls where it does. Does that make sense? I try to have protein with every meal. I try to get at least 30 grams of protein every meal, at least 30, right? At least 30. Whenever I eat, at least 30, right? Yeah. So it's not really a diet. Every quote unquote diet that I've tried in the past ended up triggering, again, this food anxiety, you know? So getting to the behavioral side of things, like a lot of us obese people, and I say us because once a big back, always a big back. Yeah. A lot of us obese people have behaviors that are tethered to levels of anxiety that we feel around food. That's the more behavioral part of it. And so in my history, in my past, diets always caused me to spiral because the thought of being told you can't eat this, you can't eat that, always triggered like scarcity mindset in me. What do you mean I can't eat that? Who are you to tell me I can't? Yeah. So that was always triggered. And so I don't do diets. I do approach. Like what are the guardrails, right? And nothing is forbidden. Nothing is off limits for me. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, because once you tell me I can't, I'm trying to find every way to do it. So I understand that about myself, and I use that to kind of figure out how I'm gonna. Cat's Tat says, "What do you consume during your fasting?" Nothing, just water with electrolytes. So electrolyte powder that gives me potassium, magnesium, calcium, sodium. It's lightly flavored, so it just keeps it interesting, but nothing. Once I have an early dinner on Wednesday, I don't consume anything other than water until Friday morning. Now, there's some people that will tell you, oh, you can fast and still eat. I don't know. I just feel like fast or don't fast. You know, like either you're gonna fast or you're not gonna fast. So if I'm gonna fast, I'm gonna eat nothing. If I'm gonna eat something, I'm not gonna fast. It's that black and white to me. So if I were fasting and I ate something, I'll just keep eating. Like some people will say, oh, you can fast, and in the middle of your fast, you can drink some soup. Okay, honey, I promise you, after I drink that soup, I'm going to go looking for beans or something. Fast over, okay? Yeah. So, hey, sexy diva, how are you doing? Yordi says, I'm 230 pounds. Please help me. Yordi, go ahead, DM me your email, or if the link in my bio works for you, click the link in my bio. Join my free community. It's a community of women that are unbigging their backs in realistic, sustainable ways. Realistic, sustainable ways built on my 3-pillar protocol. Okay. So go ahead and join, and we can help you there. Okay. Cat's Tat says, what is your go-to meal? That's a good question. This is one of them. Kava. Kava. Another go-to meal is like chicken. So my protein sources in order of like how much I like them is protein, eggs, beef, goat meat, lamb. So definitely chicken is a go-to. I like chili. I like beef chili. When I make my beef chili, I packet full of beef, so not too much beans, not too much tomato stuff. It's mostly meat, and then I eat that with like tortilla chips or pita bread. Yes. So that's another go-to. Um, what else? What else? I like toast. Like my default breakfast is like toast with eggs, whole wheat toast, peanut butter, and eggs. Sometimes Greek yogurt. I like that as well. I train in the morning. On the days that I train in the morning. And before training, I drink 50 to 75 grams of protein as a protein shake, but only on the days that I train. The days that I don't train, I don't do shakes. I do the shakes because I train heavy. So I want like a good amount of protein available already in my body when I'm done training. Yeah. And that's just for my muscles. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Rehoboth. Yes, my group is free. My community is completely free. Completely. And it's always going to be free. Alicia says, what's the first step? In terms of a first step getting started on beginning your back journey, I would start prioritizing protein. I think a lot of people think that when you want to start losing weight, the most important thing is exercise. No, it's not. Mm-mm. It's not. You know the reason why I have so many before video of myself working out in the gym? That's because I've been in the gym. If you go through my profile, you will see a lot of videos where I show myself working out when I was almost 400 pounds. The reason I have those videos is because I've been in the gym. Like the gym is nothing new to me. I have been gymming for years. I just wasn't losing weight. Yeah. So it is very possible to be like a good exerciser or whatever and still not shift anything. So weight loss itself is more nutrition than exercise. Exercise is for strength, it's for building muscle, it's for preserving mobility and flexibility, and also strengthening your heart and lungs. Exercise by itself is not very efficient when it comes to weight loss. Yeah. So you have, when it comes to, let's say like chocolate chip cookies, right? 3 of them, 500 calories, right? Okay. You have 2 choices. You can eat the cookies and then go walk on a treadmill for 2.5 or 3 hours to burn those 500 calories, right? Or you just don't eat the cookies, or you eat one. So the nutritional side is always much more effective in terms of caloric deficit and setting up the conditions to lose weight. The nutrition side is always going to have that power. The exercise part, in terms of caloric burn, is really not that efficient. And all these like Apple Watch and all these trackers that tell you, oh, you burned 7. Let me just help you with something. Those models were developed with people who do not look like you. Okay. And they tend to grossly overestimate the amount of calories you're burning. The more you exercise, the more your body uses calories efficiently. So if you've never exercised before and you start today and you go for 1 hour, maybe you burn 500. If you keep up that exercise for 6 months, same exercise, no changes, the duration is the same, the intensity is the same. In 6 months, now, maybe you lost a little bit of weight, but I promise you, even if you don't lose that much weight, in 6 months, you will burn 350 or 325. You know why? Because your body has become a lot more efficient. That's what our bodies are designed to do. Okay. They're designed to always maintain what is called homeostasis. Yes. And so I never exercise, and I mean this, I never exercise with the goal of burning calories. Never, never. If I have a caloric goal, I meet that goal with nutrition only. I never go and work out and say, oh, I'm going to burn 200 when I work out so I can have an extra treat. No, I never do that. It's a slippery slope. And I find that it hinders people a lot more than it helps them. Yeah. So even as a coach, when I coach the women that I coach, I never speak of exercise as, oh, you can earn more calories. No, no, no. Exercise is not for earning calories to eat later. I think it's a problematic mindset. Yeah. Clarice says my craving for sugar is out of this world. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I'm a carboholic myself. I'm a sugarholic. What helps me with that is the high protein, adequate hydration, and even when I am eating treats, I eat them as part of a meal. Yeah. And then another thing too, and this is something we talk about in my community as well, and it's also a part of my course. You need to develop a coping toolbox, right? A coping mechanism toolbox. For a lot of us big backs here, right? For a lot of us big backs, one of our behavioral imbalances is food is our only coping mechanism. It's either our only coping mechanism or it is one of the top coping mechanisms that we have. So we feel sad, we feel angry, we feel frustrated, we feel resentful, we feel fearful. You know, all these unpleasant emotions. For us big backs, our number one way of alleviating those unpleasant emotions is food. And so that's another thing that I've had to learn on my journey is I've learned to develop other coping mechanisms for when life goes left.